Hey guys, welcome back to my Pokémon Black 2 Nuzlocke playthrough. This red-haired guy has been asking us to follow him and stuff. Heard about the trainer looks very tough? That's right, this trainer may be tough, but you can learn from losing as well. Oh, come on. Poor guys, they are destined to lose. Sad. So today, we're going to talk about the links between the hit video game series Undertale and what it tells us about the ideals of fascism. Now fascism, I don't think it has a fire type move, but it may have, so I'm going to switch to my Oshawott. Pretty high level too. Fluffover is level 10, that's great. But I thought that he would evolve by now, because he's a bug type Pokemon, and they usually evolve pretty fast. So the way I define fascism and what I'm going to mean under the word fascism in this video is that fascism is the notion is that aggressive physical strength determines who's right. Like strength equals moral high ground, which in action says that if you beat someone up, then you were right because you were able to beat them up. If you wouldn't be right, then he would have won because he was the stronger one. And I don't even get to... oh, I get to heal, okay. So if he would be the stronger one, then he would have beaten you up and then he would be right. So it's basically that strength, physical strength, is the thing that enables you. Oh, Fluffover can fight this one. It's kind of the understanding Darwinism in the way that human beings are still animals, and we don't have a sense of morality, and for that reason we can just like live by the rules of strength. And the hit video game series of 2010, Undertale, undertakes the mission to disprove fascism, in my opinion. Now in the video game Undertale, the hit video game series by Toby Turner, Undertale, from the year 2009, you have the options of defeating your opponents by fighting them, and you also have the opportunity to defeat your opponents by talking to them. Oh. And clearing up your misunderstandings with them, like figuring out what the problem of those people you're fighting with is, and how it can be resolved in a peaceful manner. And in the world of Undertale, in this underground cavern, you meet a lot of monsters, and you're going to be told repeatedly by these monsters that humans are way more powerful than most monsters are, and that there was a war at some point between humans and monsters, and humans won very easily because the power of a human is way larger than that of an average monster. And if you play the game, you're going to get hints of monsters' mental capabilities as well. Most of these monsters are kind of bumbling. Oh Christ, guy, leave me alone. They kind of bumbling. They are really weak if you fight them, you're usually going to succeed. Unless they are a boss fight, in which case then you lose, but they are few and far between. The majority of monsters are shown to be physically weaker, and some of them aren't very intelligent, or they aren't really taking themselves seriously. What we see throughout the game, that you have these two paths of defeating your opponents with your strength and with sorting your differences out. But you're going to see through and through the game that defeating your opponents peacefully always comes with its reward. You're going to get extra dialogue, you're going to be positively reinforced, while defeating your opponents, killing them, is clearly a negative thing in universe. You're going to be confronted with your decisions. You're going to be told that what you have done was a horrible thing to do. Characters who were nice to you, here's the gem. Characters who are nice to you no longer exist because of your actions. You have removed them from the game by defeating and as such killing them. And so the game clearly encourages you to go pacifist and don't kill anyone. And you don't need to kill anyone in the entire game. Just like in real life, you have a choice to be violent or pacifist. And just like in real life, I believe your aggressive choices are punished by society and by your own conscience as well. You're going to feel bad if you hurt someone, especially if they've been nice to you. Let's see who to put in front. Purloin doesn't seem to have a high attack stat, and it hasn't been helping us a lot. I'm going to put Barry in the front because he's been very good. He has a gust type attack, which should be pretty good. And in real life, your pacifist and more kind choices are going to be rewarded. People are going to be nicer to you in the long run. I'm talking in the long run. Like, people usually like nice people, and people usually are going to defend them. Like, if there is a nice person that you've known and they are being accused of something wrong, then your instinct is going to be doubting that they did something wrong. Meanwhile, if there is a jerk, that you're going to believe that they have done something wrong, you're going to struggle to believe them. And that is the sort of thing that I think Undertale really is taken on itself to explore. So humans are physically and in some cases mentally stronger, but they are not morally right in the story. And that is the only ground that the monsters are standing on, is being morally correct in the situation. They haven't been aggressive to humans. I think I'm faster than this. They haven't been aggressive against humans, they haven't been cruel to them. And in the end of the story, maybe it's minor spoiler, just the ending of the story, it's implied that the king of the monsters wants to attack Lollipop. I'm going to switch out. Oh. Whoops. It's implied that the king of the monsters wants to invade the surface and attack humans and get rid of them, so the surface can be ruled only by monsters. And that decision is is clearly shows that he is morally not in the right, and that is why that is what kind of gives you that based on the game's morals, you're supposed to stop the king from. It also saves your life, but it also you would help the monsters get out if they wouldn't threaten the existence of humanity, which is something that by acquiring your soul they will be able to do. So at the end of the game, you're kind of not only saving your soul but only humanity by extension you're also saving the king of the monsters by becoming a literal monster by massacring the humans above. And that is kind of what the game builds you up to. That there is this decision that you have to save the soul of this monster king. You have to save them from their own cruelty, which is completely not in character with them. But that guy used to be so nice, and now he's kind of chased into this cruel decision that he kind of is forced to make, and you have to stop them from ruining themselves, essentially, which I think is really interesting. That the monsters are clearly on the moral high ground, and by this attempted act of cruelty is what makes their point the wrong one, and that is what derails them from being in the right. And that is something that works only on a moral level. If you take morality completely out of the equation, then both the humans who have defeated the monsters in the beginning of the story, they were right, and also the Monster King will be right at the end of the story for getting rid of humans and gaining the surface for the monsters. They both will be morally right in the sense in the ideology of fascism, but moral like, I hate that this is the word for it, but the human way is our current morality is that both the humans in the beginning of the story were wrong, and also the monsters in the end of the story, the Monster King at the end of the story, they are both wrong. And what I see online is that fascism is something that really drives people to make their moral calls. For example, there has been this news report that I've seen. It was about a family who live in a nice neighborhood. In the middle of the day, they've been robbed, and these robbers have found them in the house, and they've attempted to harm them, but they were able to protect themselves. And what I've seen in the comment section is a bunch of people saying that it's been the family's fault because they didn't lock their doors in the middle of the day when they were at home. And of course you take precautions against robbers, but you can, but it's kind of fascism speaking that the robbers were clearly like what were they supposed to do? Like, they were seeing a nice house in the middle of the day with an open door. Of course they are going to go in. Of course they're going to attempt to kill and rob the people in there. Like, what were they expecting? Of course that is going to be the first instinct of anyone who sees a house with an open door. And I've seen that the majority of people in that comment section thought that way. Also, another story, there was a person who bought an Xbox One a picture of an Xbox One on eBay, and he thought that he was buying for $700 or something, and he thought that he was buying an actual Xbox console, but the person who uploaded that deal, like the title was Xbox One 2016 console picture, $700, and so the guy bought it thinking that it's an Xbox console. It was uploaded in the console category, and the vast majority in the comment section stated that this guy who bought the console and got the image, that he clearly was wrong, and the guy who attempted to like wrong people, like he was in the right, like it was the guy's fault who bought it and didn't get what he wanted, like it was his fault for falling for it, and it wasn't the guy's mistake who uploaded misleading oh my god, Ashwat! No! Ashwat! Fuck! We have lost our starter. This is incredible. Let's give a potion to Fluffever. I can't believe this. We lost Ashwat. Let's see what's happening. Bite. Alright, let's see. Oh my god, no! Fluffever! This is horrible. We're being completely wiped out. Oh no. No, Purloin! This is the worst. I only have Barry left. This is horrible. I'm completely being wiped out by this Lillipop. Oh god. I'm giving up, guys. I'm giving up. This is horrible. This is incredibly horrible. Out of usable Pokemon. I have lost this Nuzlocke this quickly by a Lillipop. This is horrible. I don't know what to do now. So what I see online, that people are really think that if you attempt a crime and get away with it, then you were right. Well, let's see. What I'm going to do now is I'm should be finished, right? I was wiped out. The game should be over. What I'm going to do is box everyone. Yeah, except for the Purloin. I'm going to catch new Pokemon on each route, then box the Purloin, and I'm going to level up a new team of Pokemon, and I'm going to try to challenge the gym again. So I'm just restarting the game essentially. So so the notion that if you commit a crime and you're not caught, then you were in the right, that notion does exist. very, like, especially in YouTube comments. Hey Petra. YouTube comments are very convinced, I think, of they're very convinced of this, that what were you expecting? That people not to rob you? How is that possible? Or like, what were you expecting? Like, people not to scam you? Like, how is that? Yeah, so you understand what I'm saying. I think Patrat has a high attack stat, so I'm pretty happy that we got a Patrat. I already have a nickname for him as well. So I think that when you're at the victim side of... Yeah, you don't even have to be on the victim side of a crime. The law is on the victim side. If you commit a crime, that you were the one who was wrong, it's not the victim. Like, that is clearly what humanity's morals have evolved to interpret. Like, if you do something wrong, that is your responsibility. That is your fault and not the victim's. And just because someone attempted to buy an Xbox One online and picture was in the name and it was in the I thought the Patrat would be in front so I can get it some experience, but now somebody is going to run. I don't know why I thought the Patrat will be at front. I didn't put it in front. So now I'm going to box Purloin, get my Patrat. You will see what I named him once I release him to battle. Yeah, so I think I think the masses are pretty fascist. So, and if you needed some form of moral revolution to come to the conclusion that victims, like, and you can see my Patrat's nickname here, MatPat. He has tackle. Let's see his stats otherwise. 7. His special attack is higher, but his attack isn't lowered, so I'm good with this. Well, so in conclusion, I think Undertale is a huge collective Undertale take it on itself to explore the concepts of fascism, which I think modern people, especially in the internet, is something that they really need to explore. And I think Undertale was a pretty cool game, so play it if you haven't already. You probably have. So yeah, so thank you very much for sticking with me. Next time we're going to talk about the use of technology in the animated cartoon series Miraculous Ladybug. Come back next time.